Good afternoon, friends. I am blessed beyond measure that you're all here today. This just moves me beyond my ability to tell you. I'm Sean. I've met a lot of you today. I'm the senior pastor here at the Congregational Church, along with Talia. Where's Talia? Talia, right there. We are so delighted to welcome you to First Congregational Church of Winter Park. Winter Park's first church, established in 1884, the founding church of Rollins College. Our first minister was Rollins' first president, and on this very spot, there was a different building at the time, but Rollins' first classes were held here while they were building the campus. But one of the hallmarks of our church, in good New England congregational tradition, has been our anchor to issues of social justice. And we belong to a denomination that was the first in America to ordain an African-American man, Mr. Lemuel Haynes, in 1785 in Massachusetts. We published a book of poetry by an African-American woman years before that, who was a member of Old South Church in Boston. We were the first, and so far the only, open and affirming church to the LGBTQ community here in Winter Park, and we've stood for marriage equality for a long time. Women's rights, rights of children. We are a very social justice-centered church. And so it was, thusly with some surprise, that given our history, that when we were looking at blueprints of when this new version of the Hooker Memorial Hall, named after Reverend Hooker, our founding minister, we found that the designation of this bathroom was labeled as colored toilet. And it took us aback, to put it diplomatically. And since then we have struggled with what that means for us as such a social justice anchored church, what it means in the shadow of all of the social justice work that this church has done with the African American community since its founding. And so upon my becoming involved with my dear friends from Bridging the Color Divide who are here today, I met my sweet friend Valeda. And Valeda knew the story of this bathroom and wrote a poem about it, which was subsequently published in the Orlando Times, which made it become more aware to members of our church. And boy, last fall, wasn't it?
Yes.
Valeda and I were on the phone, and she said, I have this idea of something we can do as regards that bathroom. And she described today to me, and I could see it, and it looked like this. It's so wonderful. And here we are, and we're going to do this today. My best wishes go out to Dr. Myron Moorhead, who was supposed to be with us today, but I regret he's come down with the flu. But as God works in wonderful and mysterious ways, because he's not here, we have the latest pastor, the Reverend Erica Rembrandt Smith from Washington Shores Presbyterian Church, join us today. She looks a lot better in those robes than I do, too. But we're going to begin today with Valeda, and she is a poet. She is a storyteller, she is a curator, and the most recent thing that she has curated is the Thy Kingdom Come exhibit, which is currently at UCF. She is a remarkable, remarkable woman and has a spirit that just makes me smile whenever I'm around her. So she's here to share not only her poem, but a few words from her own heart. So my friends, Valeda flew out.
History is often overlooked, sometimes kicked aside, buried in our hearts, our minds, never to confide. Then history has no purpose, and like an old tossed shoe, is of very little value to me or to you. But today we are here in celebration as we place in indelible ink our most valued history, as we noticed a most valuable link, the colored bathroom. The door to the colored bathroom no longer has a sign. It opens to a memory we must not leave behind. The door to the colored bathroom, available to everyone now. Can we integrate it into our story somehow? The door to the colored bathroom, carved from a heart of stone, carries a remorseful memory, hard to leave it alone. Just how do we remember? Need we ever forget this symbol of division the hearts of God's people regret? The door to the colored bathroom will for generations be there for all God's people to open in memory of the grief that we share. May we together say the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven.
And give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen.
Pastor asked why. And I think that this church was divinely chosen, and that this bathroom remains because of the church's history, because it had a history of assisting. And there's no greater way that the church can assist than to maintain the memory of what should not be. And the fact that they are here and able and willing to tell and share the story is wonderful. Because we are the light in God's world.
Amen.
We are the tools in his hand. And we are the jewels in his crown. History records that there was a time when there was a colored-only bathroom, a room that stood as a symbol of racial division. Let history record that that colored bathroom, wherever it exists in the world, will forever remind us of that horrible time, lest we are tempted to forget. Let history record that there was a time when God's people came together, February the 26th, 2017, and agreed that what was true then will never be true again. We vow to shine the light of truth on the darkness of our past. The truth that is the knowledge of God. It proclaims that we are all his children, and he loves us all the same. Every accomplishment starts with the decision to try. We do good not for the praise of man, but for the praise of God. The events of the past will remain forever recorded in truth. It is something we cannot change. It is something we cannot erase. However, we are blessed with the privilege to shape how the future will be. Today, we flush. We flush to convict ourselves. We flush to commit ourselves. And most importantly, we flush to remind ourselves that we are able to let go and not be tied to the errors of the past, but be motivated by them. We commit to the truth that Christ has demonstrated. We hold to the truth that all men are created equal and deserve to be treated equally. We are all children of the same Father, united in a kinship which requires us to love one another as God has loved us. Romans 6:9 says, the former slaves to sin are confronted with the current slaves to righteousness. And it is promised that those who are slaves to righteousness will be victorious. We are the slaves to righteousness. We are the light in God's world, the tools in God's hand, the jewels in God's crown.